So, are we on?
Hold on. We are now. We are
We
now.
are now?
Yes. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen,
Oh, there we are.
I do apologize for the tardiness, but it wouldn't be a Going Nerdy live stream without copious amounts of technical difficulties. That being said, oh, my voice just cracked. That being said, welcome. This, I burped, is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy.
Dude, there's something seriously wrong with our videos on the stream.
Yeah, we're all on one strip instead of wide.
Yeah, we're not even in 4:3. Well,
Oh, there I am, way big.
Oh my goodness. Again, what would it be without technical difficulties? Holy crap, I just saw what happened.
Yeah, it zoomed in on me chewing on my Skittles.
Well, I mean, as we talk, if you just joined us, then you completely missed out on a great episode of Talking Picard, where we did talk quite a bit about sexy Spanish eyes and holy balls, what is going on? And you know what? I'm just going to do this for today. And
there you go. Now you're covered.
And now I'm covered. Now, yeah, I don't.
No. You need to squish the zoom first to bring us into a row, mate.
Squish the zoom.
Yeah,
That's
go to the
what she
far
said.
right and squish it. What? That is so weird.
That is really weird. That's fine. That works.
There we go.
There we go. Now you can expand us out.
Oh, God bless the people who stayed with us through this.
Dude, why do I always got to be the bottom bitch?
It's because you're the prettiest. I feel, Paul. What do you
We
think?
go. Yeah, I agree. I'm the guy with the missing tooth. Then we got Thaddeus, who's beautiful in his own right.
That's right.
But Nev, you are the prettiest.
You're the prettiest, Nev, and I could fight you on it, but it's a losing battle. Welcome.
Oh, I'm so pretty. I'm going to hit you so hard, your children will be born bruised.
Welcome to another episode of Talking Clones. Today, we are looking at the second episode, A Distant Echo, as the title indicates here, and we are going to break it down, give our feedback, give our thoughts as to what we feel, how we like, disliked, and definitely what we thought about this episode and what we think is coming in the future of Clone Wars. First and foremost, I have to welcome the two gentlemen at my top and bottom, and that is Paul and the Nev from the Escape Podcast. Sorry, the Escape Podcast.
Cast. Cast.
We kind of shortened the pregnant pause, so it's now the Escape Pod Cast.
I still like the
Escape
pregnant pause.
Podcast.
Yes. These gentlemen do a podcast where they talk about Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, the mobile game, and other nerd topics from time to time.
And we're starting to talk about Lego.
Lego.
Yeah, Lego Legacy Heroes Unboxed. I'm enjoying it.
All right. Nev, your thoughts on Legacy Heroes Unboxed?
Enjoying it so far. I do have some issues, but I'm enjoying it so
All
far.
right. So this episode is what we believe is part of either a 3-part or maybe even 4-part story arc where we are introduced to the Bad Batch. We in the last episode, let's just recap, we have the Bad Batch come up and there was an algorithm or a game plan that Rex and Echo, his former squad mate, who, if you remember, died, went missing in action on, what was it? I forget the planet that he was on but anyways, he went missing in action, and Rex and Echo had this like battle strategy. Now, this battle strategy that these only two people knew about is being used against them by the Separatists, by specifically Multi-Arms, Admiral Multi-Arms, Spider.
Trench.
Thank you, Admiral Trench. Although I do like Admiral Multi-Arms, and now that he's part like droid, he might be. Yeah, no, I'm not going to make a joke like that because it wasn't going to land anywhere. Anyways, so through last episode, we saw that he is alive, or some version of him somewhere is sending out a signal with information. Now Rex is gung ho. He is like, dude, my boy Echo is alive, and we are going to find him. Everyone else is like, look, man, we just know that some kind of signal is coming from Skako Minor, and we don't know what it is just yet. We're going to go figure it out. Cody, or Rex, I keep saying Cody, freaking Cody. Rex, you have to be prepared for the fact that this may not end the way you want it to. Right?
This is not going to end the way you think.
Yeah.
But before that, Rex and General Anakin had to go take care of that thing
that they didn't have time for, but they did. And what was that thing, Paul?
That thing was that they were secretly replaying Brokeback Mountain. No.
They were spot checking Rex's gear, right?
Exactly. No, it was Anakin secretly talking to Padme, and I do believe that this was where Padme was pregnant because she kind of was
showing.
Oh yeah, she's definitely showing.
She had a glow about her. It was kind of a bluish glow. I don't know if you guys saw.
It's a hologram, sir.
Oh, okay, that's what
it was the coronavirus glow.
Ah, is that what it is? They turned blue?
I don't worry about the coronavirus. I drink Modelo.
But the idea is, so first off, to point it out, Rex knows. I mean, we didn't think anyone knew about this romance, right? And Rex knows. That is awesome and opening, right? Because not only does Rex know about Padme and Anakin, he is covering for them, which makes super sense. It makes a lot of sense because let's face it, guys. I mean, those two are like brothers, and Rex and that was part of the thing that Ahsoka Padme and Anakin talked about was, look, when you rush into battle, who's there with you? Rex. So it makes sense that that Rex would know. But this is a kind of a cool moment. Nev, what did you think?
Yeah, no, I was. It was an intergalactic booty call without the booty.
Yes, it was intergalactic belly call.
Yeah. So I was for some strange reason I thought when he put the pad down, I'm like, hang on a minute, is he about to FaceTime Snips or something? And then Padme came in and it's like, oh no, that makes a lot more sense, of course.
Yeah. And that was one of the things, if you remember from the original trailer, like when the Bad Batch come in and it goes through the whole thing and you hear all the words and the helmets are blown out of whatever, but you have a moment where Padme or where Anakin walks through a door with Kenobi, and he sees Snips. Snips turns around and it's like, "Hello, Master." But that's what I thought this was going when you see Prego Padme pop up. I was like, "Whoa!" All right, Anakin's talking to his lady, and I have always loved the dialogue between Anakin and Padme in the show, way more than I like it in the movies. It's not
and
yeah, but like it shows a deep love for this woman, not just like I don't like sand. you know. But what were your thoughts?
Well, honestly, it's you could tell they're a couple. They're the power couple that nobody could talk about. But another thing that I found interesting was actually right after, Anakin's quote unquote covers for Rex's talking about spot checking is Kenobi says, "Tell Padme I said hi."
Yep. I was in my chair watching this at work. And I was like, oh my gosh! He knows! I got so excited. It was so cool to see that. I mean, and again, of course he knows. That's why
it was very much on par with when you read the new Thrawn books. Sorry, Neil. When you read the new Thrawn books and you get the reveal that Thrawn knows who Vader is.
Yes. Well, I mean, and again, with those Thrawn books, Thrawn knows that he and Padme have something going on. That Anakin and Padme have something going on. And that was so, like he just picked it up from body language and choices that they made and so on and so forth. Thrawn's just amazing. We can all admit to that. Old Thrawn, old canon Thrawn, and new canon Thrawn is still really, really cool. May not be your
old canon Thrawn is cooler,
and I would
debatable. Not for this show.
Not for this show. But the idea here is that more people know about this secret than they're letting on, and if Obi-Wan knows, who else knows? Right, that is going to be a very big, a big thing here. And what's really cool about this, what I love about what the Clone Wars has done as a show, and what these episodes are still doing, is they're putting so much more context to the films that was completely left out, and they're making it. I don't know. In my mind, and this is going to sound like heresy to some, better. It's just there's just so much more there that they're taking, and I love it. I love the idea, and I love the fact that more people know. I thought it was awesome, but yes. But then, in keeping with Anakin and Obi-Wan's. Obi-Wan shows up. He's like, "Hey, Anakin, the council has." Anakin doesn't let him get a word in edgewise, and he's like, "Oh yeah, they think it's a great idea. You're right." And he's like, "Yeah, but," and then he continues on, and "Yeah, but," and he goes off. I thought that was awesome. It was fun. It was a simple back and forth. It still showed that boyish humor, childishness that Anakin has. While at the same time, it was just, I don't know, it was just cool. And then you get the moment with the Padme. Yes. What goes next? What's next? After that scene, what happens?
We end up getting that talk where he is worried about that.
Yeah, it's the discussion, right? So they load up on the ship, right? And and as they're there, there's still a little bit of I don't know, characterization a little bit. I will say this episode has me loving Wrecker. Hands down, I freaking love Wrecker. The fact that he was like bench pressing or forearm, whatever you call it. I haven't worked out in years, but he's like
one arm lifting a gonk
droid. I'm like, what did that gonk droid ever do to him?
Here, hang on.
I'm gonna start calling you Wrecker.
I got my gonk droid.
Nice. But it showed more of the Bad Batch. It showed more of a connection of just a lot of different stuff. Now, one of the cool things as they are flying to Skako Minor is that he asks him, Anakin, straight out. He's like, so, who do you report to? Oh, the Escape podcast. Oh, I just saw that.
That's to cover your CBS and your Disney Plus, okay?
Yeah, my wife will be very happy. But so the idea is they're talking about that. He's like, what else have you done? He's like, you've worked with Cody before. They're like, oh yeah, we've done a few missions with Cody. We've done some other stuff. We're all over the place, right? I'm really curious. I want a comic book of the Bad Batch. I want to see some of these other missions that they've gone.
I think there is one in the. I'm going to look that up. I think so. Continue on, but I do think I remember seeing one in the works.
Yeah, so they land on the planet, and it's this like terrible atmosphere, and I gotta say, there's this. They're like, hey, reptilians, they worship these giant flying reptilian beasts, and what happens? A giant one lands on the screen.
I thought they were Minox at first.
I did too. They looked like giant Minox. What they reminded me of is in the Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, there is a giant winged beast, and this is my impression of a winged beast, who it's on Dathomir, and so I'm wondering if maybe this Skako Minor's in the same sector or the same vicinity, or it's just a similar species of. But like that species, they try to get it off the ship. It snags Anakin, and Anakin flies away. Interesting enough, what does he drop? His friggin' lightsaber. I thought that was hilarious.
Skywalker always loses.
He always, yeah. It's like, come on, man. Has Obi-Wan taught you nothing in all these years that you've been working with him? Just hold on to your lightsaber, just for a minute.
All right, so it was in sector L9.
Okay.
Which is also home to a Nexus. I'm gonna look. I'm looking where else a Nexus was.
Okay, so it's in the same sector as the previous planet that we were on, which makes sense. They didn't have to like travel all the way across the galaxy to get back to where they were. But it was cool again. We see a planet inhabited by people who want nothing to do with the Galactic Republic, with the Separatist, anything. These people are completely free of the war, right? And so I'm curious to know how future planets like this are going to pop up in the galaxy, right? I mean, because as fans, we haven't experienced or explored every single aspect of the galaxy. There's still unknown regions as fans. But I'm curious. What do you guys think? Do you think it will play a part in the future storytelling, if not in this series, in maybe Star Wars Rebels, the sequel? Do you think there are more of these planets that are unaffiliated?
Well, I mean, you've gone past. I mean, just to backtrack a little bit regarding the conversation had with the Bad Batch as to who they answer to. I think there's something a little bit deeper there.
Okay.
I do genuinely think that there's something a bit deeper there, and I also think that there's a really, really awesome potential for a spin-off there, because we don't know who they answer to, and it would be very, very interesting, A, to know who they answer to, but B, are they bound by Order 66?
Ooh, that is a good question.
I don't think that these guys would be bound by Order 66, because these were the trial and error clones. Order 66 wouldn't have been put into these guys until they perfected the clones. So just I know it's just a little backtrack. I didn't want to interrupt the flow of the conversation, but I think that there's something extra there because the positive reception of the Bad Batch in this season, we're going to see more of them throughout this season, and when they end season 7, it's not going to be enough. One season of the Bad Batch, it just ain't going to be enough.
Yeah. No,
and I genuinely don't think that these guys are going to be bound by Order 66. And when they get to the end of season 7 and tie into the episode and all of that, I'm just thinking to myself, yeah. So sorry to go back a little bit,
and you're right. Like I think that's my thought. I do think that this group does report to a higher power. Maybe it's Palpatine, maybe it's someone within the ranks. I don't know. I'd like to see them, if not Palpatine, I could see Tarkin or Yularen. You know, that would be cool.
Oh, definitely ISB.
Yeah, throwing them into the ISB would be awesome. And then seeing an ISB spinoff, you know, would be really
Bad Batch.
like it would
maybe
be
throw
awesome.
Gideon in there.
Oh, that would be tight. I would, yeah. There's a lot of potential with this crew, and you're right, Nev. There's no way they're not going to capitalize on it. Like none at all. It would be ridiculous for them not to build off of this.
Capitalize on the popularity of the Bad Batch. It's just, yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, and what, like 5 years has passed. 5 years have passed. And like those episodes that they launched, the mock-ups, have been watched hundreds of thousands or maybe like millions of times. Like fans love those. And they love the Bad Batch. There's no way they're going to let this just slide. But here's what I'm thinking, right? ISB would be awesome. It would be cool for Palpatine to have control of them, but if it was ISB, he'd still have control of them. I don't agree with you, and maybe I'm just uninformed here. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the Bad Batch, they were listed as Clone Force 99, which is they've been in existence, right? These troops, the troopers have been going around for years, and so this isn't. These weren't created, as far as we know, to experiment with stuff. They just had positive mutations.
Correct.
Right? And so they would still potentially have the chip implanted.
I can see where you're coming from on that, but as you said to me, as you so eloquently said to me during Talking Picard, I think you're wrong. And here's why I think you're wrong.
All right, hit me.
They were mutations, which means the orders, the brain chemistry of them is slightly different. Ergo, Order 66 wouldn't work with them, which is why they were put together and they've been put under the direct control of someone who we don't know.
That's true. All right. So it's not that they don't have a chip. It's just that because of the mutations, that chip may not be effective.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, and I can totally get behind that. I think you have a great point. Not that I'm conceding or saying that I'm wrong. I'm just saying that you might also be right. I will say, though, as much as like the whole back and forth with the civilization here, it was a cool way to move the story beyond them. Because it wasn't about the civilization, right? It was just like, oh, hey, we're people. We know what you are. We know who you are, and we're moving beyond this, right? I thought that was neat. I did. But the coolest part was when they actually get to Wat Tambor's location, and they just start going at it. was giddy about halfway through, like with every little scene there.
Wat Tambor, I know you've tuned in a few times on the on Monday nights on our Twitch channel, and Neil loves to play Trivia Murder Party too. But Wat Tambor sounded a lot like the host of Trivia Murder Party 2.
Oh yeah,
the voice just. I would be surprised if it's not. I forget the last name. His first name is Sam. He plays Cookie Masterson, or not Cookie Masterson. Schmitty. Yeah. On the Jackbox games.
Okay.
So I'd be very surprised if it wasn't him, but not too surprised.
All right. I love this. Like the back and forth when like there's a lot of cool stuff. They get into the thing. I really just want to jump to the end. Was there? Hey, stop me. Give me something else to talk about because like I want to jump to that end scene, where Watt and Rex are just mouthing off to each other, like.
Well, I mean, these episodes are short.
Okay.
They're the same runtime that they would be if they were on television.
Okay.
So you're not too far off because we do see right after all this, which we're talking about the whole Wrecker pressing the droid, and then we already talked about how Anakin tells Rex that this may not end the way that you want it to. We know they're going after Echo, and as they go up the elevator, they fight droids after they're scouted there by these people that captured Skywalker at first, but they translated and said, "We don't want them there.
Yeah.
We don't want your war. Just get it off our planet."
Yeah.
That essentially is the next scene right before the finale where Rex and Watt are going at it. So go ahead.
I loved it. Like, oh my gosh. Like Rex was like, he essentially is like war crimes, right? He's like, you've got my buddy in there. You are committing war crimes. I am not leaving here without him. And then Watt's like, murder. I mean, he doesn't say murder, but like kill them, get them, attack, right? Whatever. But like
execute them.
Yeah, thank you. Execute was the word I think Watt used, but murder probably not so much. But like there was just so much hatred in Rex, and as he said in the previous episode, and he repeats it in this one. He's like, I've lost so many men. I've seen so many clones die. And he's like, and it has not affected me until now. There's a level of humanity here. And like, I gotta say, like, I mean, I was never a war hero, or, I mean, I say never a war hero, like I even served in the military. I never served in the military. I have mad respect for those people that do. But what I can't get past is the idea here that you've got a guy who's seen so much, and it's not he's just kind of bottled it up or put it in the back, and he's not let it get to him, and then the potential to remake, to fix a potential mistake or to save someone who's fallen is just this powerful moment in the episode that I absolutely loved, and the driving force behind this whole arc. I loved it. Oh, I loved it. It was so cool. I watched it twice on Friday before noon, and I jumped through it this morning, kind of just picking up different pieces that I wanted to talk about. I loved it. Now again. Let's finish talking about the episode. There's a few things that I want to go back to about like the behavior, the discussion between the Bad Batch and Rex and Anakin for sure. But the one thing that I loved absolutely about this scene is when they free Echo. Right? What did you guys think of that moment? Nev, are you getting choked
I got
up?
all choked up.
Oh, my heart, like, it melted. Oh, Nev.
Just sit tight. You're
Oh.
going.
Did you another I don't know if it was some weird Easter egg or something in there, but did you notice what was missing and what had been turned into prosthetics?
Yes.
Both his legs and one of his arms, which is exactly what happened to Vader.
Yes.
Sorry. That's exactly what happened to Vader.
Yes.
I wasn't watching that closely. Wow. Hang on.
I saw the legs. I didn't notice the arm. But
The arm as well. There was only one. He only had one arm.
But I didn't make the connection though either. That this is a preamble, or this is what happens to. I mean, but I did see the legs for sure. Prosthetics are not something that the Star Wars community has shied away from. I mean, or Star Wars in general shied away from. But that extensiveness, you've got the head connections. They could have been testing that out. They could be testing that gear out potentially. That would be an interesting thing to see. Depending on what happens with Echo, he's clearly alive. Now in what state and whether they'll be able to get him out safely is totally another thing. But I'm interested now is.
See, Vader couldn't survive without the machines in the condition that he was in. And clearly Echo is not going to survive without some kind of connection to machinery.
Yeah.
Wow. I totally did not realize the arm. That is cool. I'm looking at it right now.
The implication, it's an Easter egg. It's definitely an Easter egg, because
right.
Anakin is going to see this.
Yeah.
And there's going to be some dialogue, between him and Rex. Do you really want? It's going to be along the lines of, do you really want him to survive like this? I mean, he's half a man. He's not all there. He's going to need machines to keep him living. He doesn't have his legs. He's missing an arm.
Yeah.
And it's going to be one of those. Is he really having this conversation? Because we know what happens to him.
Yeah. Ooh. Ooh, I got goosebumps.
Did I just blow your mind?
Yeah, you did, sir. Oh man, like, Paul, what are your thoughts? What you're looking at it now?
Yeah. Just by the way, the battle was at the Citadel. That was the one you were looking for at the beginning.
And was that was where they rescued?
That's where Echo died.
Yeah. Okay, Paul, what were your thoughts on it?
I mean, it definitely a touching moment. They did what they came for. Mm-hmm. We knew about this from the reels that we saw with deleted content and stuff like that. But speaking of that, this is the end of what we've seen. Everything from here on is new.
I guess that's true. And now that's interesting because the reels do 4 parts. And
yeah, we got it in 2 episodes.
Yeah, interesting. So man,
so we're going to be watching this going into the rest of the story blind.
Yeah.
So no more duck.
No more spoiler duck will be needed.
Yay!
Until we go to Picard and I look at the coming up on the next episode.
Yes. So I'm very curious to know.
What are you thinking?
Oh no! Pull up spoiler duck.
Okay, spoiler duck.
Okay, so I'm jumping on to Google, right? And I'm searching some stuff, and I just saw some concept art, and I don't know what it is, but it's concept art of Echo, metal legs and all, with some kind of, I don't know what those droids are called, but I'm very curious to. I'll send you a picture of it, Paul.
Okay, yeah,
But
send me a
it's-
picture. Now, while we have the spoiler duck up, by the way, mute if you don't want possible spoilers.
Yes.
There is, and I think you actually have that picture right now up on the screen of Asajj meeting up with Maul walking down the hallway there. Now it's gone from the screen, but I saw that while I was at Galaxy's Edge in one of their makings of. Anyway, I'm going to pull down the spoiler duck.
All right.
Okay.
Spoiler duck down. Spoiler duck down. Spoiler duck down. Okay. Now, I gotta say, one of the highlights for me, outside of the emotional reunion with Rex and Echo, was seeing the continuation of the Bad Batch with the Regs. You know, I still don't think that they have much respect for Cody, for Rex. And it's
For first you're calling Echo Cody, now you're calling
I know,
Rex Cody.
I know. It's
You
just
like Cody?
I have a little bit of a man crush, but I mean they're not Spanish or anything, and they don't have the Spanish eyes. But but no. So I what's interesting is there is definitely some animosity, some hatred, some maybe not hatred. That might be too strong, and maybe animosity is too strong. But there's a dislike between these special forces troopers and what they view as just the rank and file, right? Did you pick up on that? Am I okay? Good, because I didn't think I was the only one, but
Not for me, not too much.
yeah,
It's because they're special.
yeah, and I think that level of specialness is going to play a much bigger part as we move forward with their storyline. I mean, again, unless they all die in the next episode, which would be the stupidest thing in the world, the Bad Batch has a lot of stories to tell. And I'm very curious to know how they are going to be told. So, I don't know. If...
Yeah, there is one bad thing about the Bad Batch. EA is seeing the dollar signs.
Yeah.
I guarantee you that the Bad Batch will not only be marquees, but at least 2 or 3 of them are going to be required for Galactic Legends Mace Windu.
Oh, don't tease me. That would be...
And I hope they come to Battlefront 2.
Yes. Battlefront 2 playing as Wrecker would be freaking awesome. That would be cool. That'd be cool. Of course, I would play as the sniper, because that's the one that I spend the most time with. But there's a lot of potential for this across Star Wars canon. I mean, I'm very stoked for this. Now, that's the story, right? That's our review. Paul, you've been pretty quiet. How many clone helmets would you give this episode?
I was entertained throughout. I went into it knowing that there would not be, if you will, will not be a long episode. Mm-hmm. As an episode itself. You know what? Just like Picard, I give this one a 5 out of 5.
All right.
Evenly paced, fun, and it tugged right at the heartstrings right at the end.
Absolutely. Nev.
5.
5. Guys, I'm right there with you. This is hands down 5 out of 5 across the board. I look forward to rewatching this whole story arc once it's complete. Do you think, Nev, I'm looking to you at this, do you think the story arc will wrap up at the end of the next episode?
Three-parter. Yeah, probably. I think it's they need to wrap it up so that they can get back to doing their get back to the episodic way that the Clone Wars normally is.
Okay, Paul, what are your thoughts?
I do hope so, but I don't think it's the last we see of the Bad Batch.
Okay.
I do hope not.
I really want to get back to Ahsoka. I really want to get back to Maul.
Agreed.
That's kind of what I'm thinking in the back of my mind, but I'm really enjoying the ride.
Yeah, I'm right there with you guys. I do think that we will wrap up after this episode, this story arc. I don't think that we're necessarily done with the Bad Batch as a whole. I do think that it's likely that we will see some one-off episodes with Ahsoka, maybe some one-off episodes with some clones before we jump back into some more longer episodics, maybe a couple, or maybe some longer story arcs, maybe a 2-episode story arc. I do think that the series and the season will end with another 3-parter. That's where I think that we're going to go. We're going to be seeing. So,
and why not? Maybe even a 4-parter, because it would be as long as the original Clone Wars movie if you put it all together.
That's true. That's true. And it would be cool. Again, the Battle of Mandalore would be awesome, and there's a lot to explore there.
And don't forget, we do see Bo-Katan get the lightsaber in Rebels, so we are not going to see exactly how Moff Gideon got this. Got the dark saber. That's going to be saved for Mandalorian, which is coming soon, and I'm now ready.
Awesome, awesome. I'm stoked, guys. I can't wait till Friday to watch the next one. I look forward to Friday simply for this now, not because the weekend's coming, but because this is there. Very, very exciting. Not spoilers. Speculation. Any thoughts?
I don't know where to even go on speculation on this one.
Yeah, no, me neither. Other than we're going to get some interesting dialogue between Rex and Anakin regarding Echo.
And I love that.
And I'm really, really looking forward to that conversation, because the scene I picture in my head is Echo in a bacta tank, looking like he's drugged up to his eyeballs in order to keep him sustained life. Yeah. And a conversation between Rex and Anakin, where Rex wanting to keep him alive because of the emotional attachment to him. And Anakin basically saying, he's not really there. He needs machines to keep him alive. Yeah. He's going to need all of these prosthetic, that kind of double entendre. It's like you're arguing for euthanizing someone based on a situation you're going to find yourself in down the line.
Yeah. I'm very much looking forward to that, and I hope it plays out that way. But with that, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. We are here every Sunday night, just after Talking Picard on the Escape Pod Cast YouTube channel, with these guys, Paul and the Nev, and with Talking Picard, we're also joined by Paul's lovely wife, Christy. With that, I'd like to say, if you haven't watched these episodes, you absolutely need to. This was amazing. I thought, you've heard what I've thought multiple times throughout this, but it is great. With that, though, guys, gentlemen, would you like to say a last few words? Nev, Paul, we'll throw it to you guys.
Come on, watch our show on Fridays. We're awesome. Totally awesome.
Yep, you can check out the podcast on Fridays. You can check out you can join the community as they talk on Discord, on their Discord channel, or you can check them out here on YouTube. They do the live stream simulcasting with the Discord podcast, and it is a blast to listen to these guys. This has been Thaddeus, Paul, and the Nev from the Escape Pod Content Creators Network. I am Thaddeus, your host, with Paul and Nev, as always.
And remember to smile.
And stay nerdy. Now I gotta turn this off.